If I'm ever put in the unlikely scenario of being kidnapped and forced to solve puzzles in order to win my freedom, I suspect I'll do just fine. It's not that I'm a puzzle-solving savant, but rather because I play a lot of video games that employ this popular trope. From pushing boxes in Resident Evil to creating a clone army in The Swapper, I have done it all and solved every conceivable puzzle. Unmechanical Extended is the newest example of this formula. Already a hit on PC and iOS, this curious puzzler sees our hero sucked into a large underground world and forced to find a way to escape. In this case, our hero is a nameless, flying robot with a limited set of skills. In fact, outside of flying, this little guy is only good at picking up objects with his powerful tractor beam. Thankfully, this will be more than enough to get us through this mysterious underworld. Although there is no spoken dialogue, the way out seems pretty clear from the get-go. All you need to do is collect 4 glowing orbs, and this will power what appears to be a giant alien heart. Each orb is hidden behind a number of different puzzles, all of which are sewn together into one large Metroidvania-style world. There's a nice variety of different puzzles to contend with, ranging from the very basic to aggressively frustrating. Early on, the game is little more than moving objects around, but later you'll have to deal with lasers and bombs. There are a few puzzles that require players to pay close attention to the game's audio cues, as well as 1 or 2 that involve combining chemicals. These are often smaller elements of a larger, more complicated puzzle that seems overwhelming at first. As clever as these brain teasers are, there are a few towards the end that spoil the game's momentum. Unmechanical is generally pretty good at hiding clues in the environment, but a lot of the thoughtfulness goes out the window as you near the final stretch. One puzzle in particular boiled down to nothing more than trial and error, evoking the worst elements of old adventure games like Myst. Thankfully, this is an exception, but some clumsy puzzle making really stood out towards the end. Even with a few tough bits along the way, Unmechanical Extended won't take long to complete. I was able to beat the game in a single sitting, which couldn't have been more than 2 or 3 hours. This includes watching both of the wholly unsatisfying endings. The good news is that there's a second episode to discover, complete with its own introduction and locations. You play a damaged robot who will need to go through a series of unique puzzles, building onto what made the original so much fun. It's a good addition, but much like the original game, the whole thing is over too quickly. Although the game is simple in scope, the impressive visuals make the adventure feel much more substantial than it actually is. Each area is littered with a mix of old and new technology, seamlessly combining elements from The Matrix in the 1980s. We can see the ruins of what looks like generations of unused electronics, some of which appears to have merged into some sort of alien life form. It's an intriguing world with a strong attention to detail. It's just a shame they didn't do more with it. Between the clever level designs and the great art direction, there's a lot about Unmechanical Extended I like. Unfortunately, the overall package is marred by a short story, disappointing ending, and a few puzzles towards the end. It has a great sense of style, but too many of the elements feel like they were borrowed from better puzzle games. Do you like stories about retro games and their culture? Want to know more about classic magazines? Curious what I think about the newest games? Trying to figure out how to quiet rumors that you cheated your way to the Super Bowl? Well, I can't help you with the last bit, New England Patriots, but you should still subscribe to this channel and support what we're doing here. And don't forget to like this video. Eesh, so many demands.